Oh, goodness. This week we head up to Northeast Florida. We're hitting Amelia Island. We're fishing the inshore waters looking for trout and redfish. Rolling into town, you can see the beauty of this area. It almost looks undisturbed and untouched. It's amazing. There is development here, but everything is just kind of interwoven into the landscape. It's just a beautiful destination with these Spartina marshes and just vast amount of water. I'm excited to get out and give it a try. This whole northeast section of Florida has such a history. You know, with its proximity to St. Augustine, there's just so much history to Florida right in this little area that you could just spend days exploring. We're fishing with local legend Terry Lacoste. This guy has more experience on the water up here than anybody around. I'm really excited to get out on the water and see what he has to share. All right, first thing this morning, Terry Lacoste, Amelia Island. My first time up here in northeast Florida, about as far up as you can get before you get to Georgia. This place is absolutely beautiful. What do you got planned for us today?
Well, the tide's just low and it's coming in, George, so we're gonna take a shot at catching some redfish in shallow water.
Okay.
You know, we might catch a big trout or flounder, but this is a redfish tide right now.
Well, this place is beautiful, these Spartina marshes. I'm really excited to get going, catch some fish. I mean, this whole town is absolutely beautiful. Fishing is just one aspect, but you know, the golfing here is incredible. I mean, I know there's a lot of things to do here.
It's hard to decide when you get up every morning, play golf or go fishing.
Getting out on the water first thing, the sunrise, beautiful water, Spartina marshes. This place is absolutely beautiful. It makes you think that this is how all of North Florida used to be. All right, first spot, we didn't go far, the ramp's right there.
Yeah.
And this is what we're gonna fish, these just kind of drop off shorelines.
Yeah, there's some mullet work in there, George, so that's a good indication. We got birds, wading birds, some white pelicans.
All right, so you're gonna throw a Savage Gear shrimp, I'll throw a top water, see if we can get going here. There's a little one.
Yep.
Little trout.
He just kind of sucked it in like a redfish. He didn't. Trout.
Little trout.
Yeah, nice trout, George.
Eat that top water first thing in the morning. How pretty is that?
Yeah.
Just come up and eat that.
Nice.
It's funny, the bait looks like a trout and you ate it.
That would be a keeper too, probably. Just 15 inches, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna cast right back in there. It might be
Yeah.
a school in there, George.
Oh, this guy. All right, I'm on the board.
Trout bite's real good because the shrimp are spawning and the shrimp are coming out of the marsh.
You get those shrimp boats out on the beach? Out here?
We'll see some shrimp boats working in the channel. They'll actually be dragging here.
Inside too.
Yeah. But there's not as many as there used to be because once they retire, they can't do it anymore. They have to give it to a family member, pass the license. Ooh, look at that, George.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's the only way to hand it down.
They can't sell the license or give it to just
wow.
anybody. It has to be a family member. There's fish.
There's on.
That might be a flounder. I don't know.
That wouldn't be bad.
That looks like a little trout.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. There you go. All right. One on a jig, one on a top water.
Bounced in the bottom, ate it.
Yeah.
Come up and ate the top water.
Little Fernandina trout. Nice.
You said there was a trout in there. He ate it like he was mad at it.
About the same size, George.
Yeah. Cookie cutter. 15 to 20 inches, right? 1 over 20?
15, yeah. I guess, what is it, TD? 22 inches.
Oh, 22 is the top?
Yeah.
Good little fish. Let him grow up. Get a little bigger.
Real-Time Florida Sportsman is brought to you by Yozuri. Fish the best.
How long you been fishing up here, Terry?
Started in 1978, fishing the backwater. Actually, there was only one guide here, and that was me. Sort of like you and Stuart. I was the only backwater guide because everybody went offshore. You know, they're catching barracuda, kingfish, tarpon. But I like the backwater fishing because I was a bass fisherman, and I like the light tackle fishing. So.
I hear you're a scratch golfer too, huh?
Used to be a +2 handicap, a PGA pro.
Really?
I went through the, oh, there's a nice fish right there.
Got him?
Yeah. Talk some more, George. I'm getting.
Keep talking about your golf game.
My fishing is not too
Yeah,
what do we got
good
today?
Right now. That's a solid trout.
Oh, man, I should have.
Oh, that's all right. There's more.
There's more.
That was a
He
solid
hit
trout.
right on that little oyster
Yeah, I
bar.
saw it. It just looks so pretty there.
About a 3-pound trout.
So you still play a lot of golf now?
I do. I play once or twice a week if I can. We've had some PGA tournaments here, and golf's big on Amelia Island. I think we've got 5 major golf courses, and typically what we do is go fishing in the morning and golf in the afternoon.
How are you at teaching
You can
people
do
at
that.
golf? Are you good at teaching people?
I used to be a teacher. Yeah, that's what I did when I was a golfer.
I'm terrible. I enjoy it. I've only been a couple times. I enjoy it, but I gotta tell you, it's not. It's pretty bad to watch. But you know the thing about golf is, I kind of see the lure of it. You can go out there and you hit 25 terrible balls, but one time you hit it right,
Yeah.
and it does what you want it to do. You're like, oh my God, I can do this. And then
Usually,
you're chasing that again. That same thing you're chasing.
usually it's on the last hole when you've had a really bad round of golf and you have a birdie or a par putt, and it brings you back.
It's like when you're out here in that last cast of the day, you lose one. It
Yeah.
brings you back the next day. We started the morning, low light conditions, throwing topwater plugs.
Oh, there he is.
Ooh.
There you go.
Got it that time.
Nice trout.
Yeah, threw in there
He's
enough
probably a
times.
keeper.
That was cool. Just watching taking it. I love fishing topwater. It's just
There's
a
another
good
one.
Take.
Oh my God.
Oh, bless. Found a trout hole, didn't we? And
Trout hole.
that's the thing. You get in these guys and you can just wreck them. It's just one after the other. Power pole down and.
Fernandina sea trout.
It's amazing, this Northeast Florida area, that the tidal swing, it's something that's kind of new to me. I'm not used to this much tidal swing, but it's really tidal dependent, and you really better know your way back in these canal systems and these marshes. You can get far back up there, and before you know it, the water falls out and you're spending a couple hours in there.
There's another one. He's fun. I like that color.
That's not bad. I guess they're here. Another trout?
I think it is. He was shaking his head like a trout, George.
Now these trout are good eating, you're saying. Down by me,
Oh,
they get
that's
kind of
fine.
wormy. They're
No, they're-
just colder water probably keeps the worms off of them.
They're all about the same size today, huh?
Cookie cutter, huh?
Yeah.
Nice fish. Good job, I guess they're here.
That color, George, is working. Chartreuse with the glow white. I like that. There you go. That's a Fernandina color there.
We fished that area a while, we caught some trout, but didn't seem to be any reds in the area. We decided to go look for some reds. So we made a move upriver, and totally different scenery up here. A little fishing these docks, deeper water, these oak hammock trees. It's gorgeous back in here.
It
Probably
is,
what it looked
George.
like 100 years ago.
Hey, George, you know the way we have the tides, the 5 or 6 feet tides, and it's run and gun fishing. You just,
5 feet of tidal swing?
yeah.
Wow. That's
Now,
incredible.
it could be up to 7 feet, on high tide, and it'll drop another 6 feet on a low tide. So these fish move around a lot.
Keep moving till you find them.
Yep, move until you find them. Oh, fish.
Got them?
I got trout.
You like them trout. You are good at catching trout. I'll grab them for you. try to grab him for you.
That is a nice trout.
Oh, yeah. Oh, belly on him. Got a belly on that trout. Bouncing that jig. Plenty of trout in here.
There you go.
Real-Time Florida Sportsman is brought to you by Penn. Let the battle begin.
We headed way back up in the marshes looking for red drum. Unfortunately, we didn't find the red drum, but I did find a black drum. There he is.
Sheep's head.
Sheep's head.
Or drum.
Looks like a sheepy.
Not that. Oh, drum. Puppy
Oh, drum? Black drum?
Black drum, yeah.
Have you ever eaten one of these?
They're actually pretty good eating, George. The small drum. When they get up about 30 or 40 pounds, they get a little fishy taste. That's a great eating fish there.
I was just in there eating on those crustaceans on that
Yeah.
oyster bar. You like that shrimp. All right, I'm looking for your red cousin.
Look at all this marsh. Isn't that amazing, all this
Oh,
marsh here?
It's gorgeous. I'm not used to seeing stuff like this. So
Yeah. And you know what? There's everything in that marsh. Fiddler crabs, mullet, blue crabs, shrimp. When that tide goes in there, they all go in there and they feed on that mud bottom. The Spartina Marsh has a lot of plankton and,
And you can fish all the way back up in there on those flood tides.
oh yeah. Got it?
There he is.
That's a red. That's a redfish.
Oh!
You get off? No! Must be another one there.
Had me up in those trees.
I saw that. That was a redfish.
God bless. It's a little harder to find these fish when these tides are this high and these flood tides and it fills up in here. Is it?
Sometimes, you know, they get on a cycle where, you know, they'll bite for like an hour or 2 hours on the falling tide, the first of the falling tide, because when that tide starts coming out of the marsh, a lot of the bait comes out. You know, and it signals feeding time for the redfish, trout too.
So the tide fell out in the marshes. You know, weren't really seeing the fish that we were looking for. So Terry decided to switch gears. He wanted to head out to the inlet and look for redfish. This inlet's pretty insane. You know, you got Florida on one side, you got Fort Clinch sitting there right at the opening of the inlet, and it's a historical site. And then on the Georgia side, you have these submarines coming out of these back bays. You talk about an escort. Oh man, the protective fleet around this submarine coming out of the inlet is incredible. You couldn't get a quarter mile near this thing. It was pretty impressive to see, and you really see the defense of America right there firsthand. It's amazing.
They've probably been here for 10 years.
That Coast Guard presence is amazing. Look at all the Coast Guard boats. They're running all around it. What are the two big boats in the front? Those are big tenders?
Yeah. Yeah. So what they do with those tenders, George, is they can lock into them like a tugboat, you know?
Oh, okay.
And they'll put them right in the slip.
Oh, in the back of the boat.
Well, no, they'll pull right alongside them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they'll tie up to them like a tugboat.
Wow. What inlet is this?
This is St. Mary's Inlet, George.
Sitting at the mouth of it, looking for redfish along these rocks, right?
Right. Yeah, we got a good falling tide, and a lot of these redfish will congregate around these rocks, especially the low areas. You see some of them sticking out of the water. You've got some low areas. This is the end of the rocks. Great ambush point for redfish. This is a good time of year.
We headed over to the North Jetty to start with, and wouldn't you know, we hooked a small redfish.
There you go. Pulling
Shaking
anyway.
his head. Looks like a jack or something.
I'll be darned.
Can't say I didn't get a red.
A redfish.
Little guy,
A little guy.
right there on the rocks, right where you
Yeah.
said. Been trying all day on the inside to get these guys, and they're just not chewing as well on the inside. Came out here, a couple casts into it. Got a little rat red. Let this little guy go. Terry's up on the bow, he fires into the rocks. He hooks into something. I'm thinking, oh, he's got another red.
I got him. I got him.
Oh yeah,
I
nice.
got him. Boy, that was a nice stud, George.
He hit it good.
Oh my God. Tarpon!
I couldn't believe it. I mean, the water temperatures are in the 50s, and Terry's hooking tarpon? I mean, are these fish lost? It's December, actually. And you hook a tarpon in December, and we're in northern Florida. Literally, that's Georgia. This is Florida, that's Georgia. That tells you how far north we are in the state. And we're catching, hooking tarpon in December. I think that fish was lost.
Real-Time Florida Sportsman is brought to you by Triton Boats. We take America fishing.
We get to this one area where there's a break in the rocks. Terry says this is the area that you want to concentrate on. The water's flowing over the rocks. Fire in there and hook onto a beautiful redfish.
Where'd you hook that, George? Right here?
Right there on that drop. Been inside all day looking for redfish and just nothing going on. I mean, plenty of trout action. Came out here to the jetty looking for reds. And I think I hooked a doozy here. Just bouncing on the edge of this rock line here, just letting it fall off. Came up and got hammered. He's coming up, big red.
Big old redfish, how about that?
It took me all day to find him, Terry. That's a good one, Terry.
Yeah.
That's not a bad one right there. That's a solid. Look at that. Got him on that soft plastic Savage gear right in the mouth there.
Yeah, George, that's about the average size, 28, 30 inches, but they get much larger.
That's a pretty fish.
50 inch is probably maximum.
Real light because he's been out here on the beach,
yeah,
right?
he's been in that muddy water. He's only got one or two spots.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
he's
two
got
on
a
this
blue
side.
tail.
Been eating good.
Yeah.
Nice and fat. Let's get this one back in. Get a good release on him.
Maybe we'll catch another one. Huh? Good job.
What a pretty fish. Nice and fat.
There he goes.
We put a full day in, and we caught some fish. It was really neat to get out here, experience everything that Terry had to offer, his knowledge of the fishery. But you know what? Terry has something else in store. This guy is a former scratch golfer. I think he maybe a little pro in there as well. So he says, you know what? Let's wrap things up, get a bite to eat, but the next morning we're gonna hit the links. So the next morning, before we hit the golf course, we're gonna go explore the town. I wanna see old Northeast Florida, what it has in store for us. So we head downtown, beautiful little historic downtown district. Terry actually has a little outfitter shop in there. We stopped by to say hello. There's so much to do in Amelia Island. They have a beautiful historic district that you can go and check the shops out, cool restaurants. They also have this Fort Clinch, as we mentioned earlier, that was on the inlet. This is a really historic place to go and see. Walking through this fort, it's just crazy to think that this was a defense. I mean, they used to sit here and wait for, enemy ships to come near the inlet and fire cannons. It's hard to fathom, but it was definitely a cool spot to see. Obviously, this area has a destination for golf. It's known for its golf. It's one of the few courses that actually sits right on the beach. When in Rome, you can do what they do. My golf experience is not great. I'm excited to get out there and give it a try. All right, so you're in Rome, you do what they do, but I quickly learned you can try, but sometimes it just doesn't come off well.
Hey.
Thanks, George.
Great job. Great day of fishing, great day of golf.
We enjoyed it, and I hope you come back.
Amelia
and
Island. I'll definitely be back.
I'll play golf and fishing every day. You know I'll be here. Let's go have a cold drink.
Let's do it. What a great experience it was to come to Amelia Island and experience it, especially with somebody with the history that Terry Lacoste has in this area. You know, been fishing it forever, playing golf here forever, and we really got to experience this Northeast Florida beauty firsthand. Not only the golf and the fishing as we mentioned, but just to hang out and see the true beauty of this area. Trout? No, even better.
Lizard fish.
All right, take some practice with these.
Indian River revival, whoa, just a few wise words.